Alright, so welcome to the Game Lounge. I seen this trailer during the what do they call it now? The PS4. I forgot it. The name didn't stick, so I apologize. But just I believe 2 days ago, Sony did a nice little. It's not a direct, I don't want to say that, but this game Concrete was there. It was in there, and I happened to dig this back up. I'll say I knew where I seen this. You know, this wasn't really shown in the E3 2018. There was a lot of little small conferences that were happening throughout the days, and people were just like, you can see the little chart here. You can see their timeline for talking about things, and you can see how many people viewed it. So it was only 94,000 views. People didn't even like. No one deep dived it. No one actually came to take a look at what's going on. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about Concrete Genie. It's what it's called. This is courtesy of PlayStation, so you can go to the PlayStation's YouTube channel and check this video out. This is a 14-minute video, and either I'm gonna go back and point out stuff, or I'm just going to during the talk I'll kind of pause and just give my thought, right? This little quick thought. You can see in the comment section, people are like, where was this video? I didn't see it. All right, so let's cut the music and check it out.
Welcome back, everybody. PlayStation live from E3 2018. Justin and Meredith here, along with Dom, Jeff, and Arjun from Pixel Opus. Thank you guys so much for being here.
It's good to be here.
Thank you.
So we are here to take a new look at Concrete Genie, which got announced a while ago. We haven't seen a ton of gameplay yet. We've seen a lot of cool video clips. We've heard some beautiful music coming out of it. But now we are here to do a gameplay demo. Let's hop right in and take a look.
Start it up.
So, would one of you like to just give us a quick explanation of what we're seeing here as we come into this demo?
Well, so
they're like,
a game about
do you want me to start?
Bring his paintings to life. I think we talked about that at PSX back in December, and we did a bit of the demo for how the painting works. And at E3 here, we're going to start showing how more of the game.
Oh man, it looks gorgeous, man.
So
just look at that.
Revitalize this town called Denska, that's had an environmental disaster befall it. And your magical paint can actually bring it back to life and bring the light back to this town. And so that's what we're going to see after this little cutscene that introduces the bullies.
Okay, great. Let's take a look.
I love the depth of the color in it. I mean, I know there is a painting element to it, but it really does look like an oil painting in a lot of ways.
Wow, thank you.
Oh, great. Yeah, we really want to make sure that everything feels like it's handcrafted.
So that's so Sony has had a reputation for having games or making games or not making games, excuse me, working with developers that make games, that handcrafted stuff. I've got a couple games I have on my list, literally, and I'm going to go get them. Tearaway and Tearaway 2. You know, and I'm gonna do a couple look backs on those games as well, just to kind of give people some insight on how creative people really can be. It's not about AAA freaking Resident Evils and stuff. You know, you want to take a look at the small stuff. That's what I like to point out. For looking at this, just like she said, there's a lot of depth in the game. I like how they're kind of introducing the bullies. So let's just kind of keep looking at.
We put a lot of attention to detail in everything in the world.
Yeah, it shows.
Great.
This has a this reminds me of like Coraline.
So these guys are going to be coming back
You
later
know?
to make it difficult for you to paint throughout the town.
Making a daring escape.
Yeah.
Now imagine now you get to start controlling him.
So now this is the bit that we've built in to kind of show how the painting mechanics work.
Oh man.
So Arjun's going to just kind of take us through the tutorial. So use the motion controller on the DualShock. So it's super intuitive and really easy to use. And then the R2 trigger paints whatever you have selected.
See, because there's a lot of people that forgot about a game like
Really
this.
hard to make it as intuitive and as fun and as joyous as we possibly can. And we want to make sure that anybody who plays it feels like they could be an artist with this game. That's
This really reminds me of
I'm not an artist, so I will put this to the test.
Well, the really fun
Little
thing as
Big
well,
Planet.
Just in this morning, seeing people play the game for the first time, which is, you know, obviously a scary moment for us.
Sure.
Because we've been working so hard to kind of deliver that promise that anybody can make something that looks great with this game. And sure enough, you know, everyone's painting very differently, but it always looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And they feel like they did it, which is really, really important.
Good, so good reaction so far.
Yeah,
to
so
the
far,
gameplay on
really
floor,
good reactions, yeah.
We want every paint stroke to feel like it's almost like hand animated and comes to life. And Arjun's one of our engineers, so he's not part of the art department, but a very creative guy. But you can see he's able to paint with ease.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see people paint in different ways. Sometimes they want to paint.
Hey, do not afraid to get a napkin and do like this.
So you can paint in a very abstract way.
I mean, he looks like
or
he's
be very
sweating.
delicate about your paintings also.
Yeah.
And this is another key component. So it's not just making landscapes. You can make your own creatures as well.
Oh, okay.
And they have a lot of gameplay purpose, depending on how you paint them. The color gives them innate abilities as well. So the red creatures
Oh,
have
man.
abilities, and they
That's
can help
freaking
you solve
awesome.
puzzles, and we're going to see a bit of that coming up later as well. And then depending on all the attachments that you add onto them, it gives them different personalities as well.
Oh, okay.
And so that's a kind of fun thing to discover.
So that sounds like some
That he's putting on.
Yeah.
they reworked some things, man. Some AI.
And then you get to bring them to life.
And I'm talking about like
and
not
start
computer
making stuff with
generated.
friends to kind of explore the
I mean, I
world.
think they worked in some AI techniques, man.
And once
He's
the
a friendly
creature
Look at
comes to
that.
life,
That's
you can
freaking
no longer
awesome.
edit him or he's really alive within the game.
Ah, okay. Good to know.
And these lights that you see on the walls, this is how we kind of quantify painting in the world, because we don't want to judge what you're actually creating. So the game doesn't sit there and say, hey, you're painting well, you're painting badly. We just have these lights up, and as you paint, it turns the lights on. And so when you've brought all the lights back to life, that's when you've completed this section of.
I like what they did there. Let's just creep back for a second. I like this. I like the fact that you do something to, like I said, it feels like a Little Big Planet, where you go back and you do something, you put a sticker there, and it activates a stage or something. So that's really awesome.
You paint, it turns the lights on. And so when you've brought all the lights back to life, that's when you've completed this section of the world as well.
So you basically have to.
Instead of just being set loose in this giant empty world and not really knowing where to go, it gives you a little bit of direction that way. Yeah.
Now, can you paint on
So
any
you
of the
have to
surfaces in the
literally
game, or are there only specific surfaces
create.
where the paint will work?
You can paint on any of the walls anywhere in the world.
Wow.
And you know, that was another hope, was that everybody's game would look different, which is really important. So you have this kind of more custom, unique experience. And sure enough, you know, everybody's games that we've seen playing the demo today, completely different. And all the creatures are completely different as well.
His shirt.
Yeah, even how you paint the creature changes their animation. So if you paint the creatures horizontally, they act more like animals. They'll howl and scratch at the ground. And
wow.
Yeah.
And this is how they communicate with you. So we wanted to make sure that the relationship that you have with your creature has some depth to it. And they'll ask you for things. In this case, he wants a fire pit.
Okay, so you make the fire.
Making a home for them whenever you're painting these landscapes. And so now he wants dandelions. And once you do the things that they ask, they'll start giving you things in return.
So that's pretty awesome. That has also a I'm not gonna say Pokemon effect, but more like a Ni no Kuni effect, where you feed your creatures, you make them happy, you you power up your creatures, you give them different things, and I take it they morph over time, or they change, have different abilities over time.
And as well. And so when the creatures are happy with you like this, they can actually charge up your brush.
Super paint.
And give you super paint, yeah.
And see, I just called that one.
So what's the super paint do?
Well, so as I mentioned earlier on, there's this environmental disaster that's kind of befallen this fishing town, which is why everybody's moved away. And this darkness that covers the walls can only be burnt off by your supercharged paint. And it clears it off in this very magical fashion. Wow. But super paint is also kind of painting writ large, so it's kind of overcharged. Everything's bigger, brighter, larger when you paint with super paint as well.
Okay, so it says we've completed one.
So they've been working on this for
it. Is that kind of what the progression is going to look like?
Dude, first of all, it's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
And when you finish all the different zones in the level, the masterpiece beacon is illuminated.
What's sad is a game like Apex Predator gets Game of the Year instead of this one.
You kind of wrap up each level.
I feel some echoes of Entwined in there, because it was kind of a similar thing where at the end you got to just kind of like go nuts and form. And,
that's right. And actually, it's the same button gesture to activate super paint.
Or Apex Legends.
The dragon in Entwined as well. Yeah.
Now, are the creatures that you created in Zone 1, are they then continuing to the zone?
Oh, he plays some basketball.
The creatures follow you into other levels?
They don't. They're actually landlocked. It's part of the level design. And so there's different places where you can paint and create these creatures.
So you gotta build new creatures
we thought about
to get through this game. That's cool.
And actually, it's nice to miss them, And when you come back to them, they're happy to see you. And so you kind of remember where they are, and they'll always help you when you go back to them as well. So we've actually found that that's been a better balance.
Hey, over here.
So that was a really cool example of how the painting interacts with the world and kind of opens up pathways for you to kind of burn down that door there using, that was his firepower.
That was his fire abilities, yeah.
So you might come to
the paintings can interact with the environment.
So you might come to an area where the creature you have don't have the ability to open up certain doors, probably, I'm guessing. And you have to paint, you have to go somewhere that this creature does not exist, and maybe paint something new, like that wall, that little block right here. You might have to paint like something different, like maybe where you paint or you get something that works with that creature. So that creature tries to open up something and he goes no, or he does like this, like I don't know, and then you paint something that you achieved later, come back, and maybe he can like activate that door or open that new path up. In this case, this was the case when the creature opened the door here. So let's go back, which is pretty cool because it's boarded up.
And when you come back to them, they're happy to see you. And so you kind of remember where they are, and they'll always help you when you go back to them as well. So
because fire was his ability.
Hey, over here.
So that was a really cool example of how the painting interacts with the world and kind of opens up pathways for you.
Looks like he went up and over.
That was his firepower.
That was his fire ability.
Okay,
because
because
some other ways that the paintings can interact with the environment.
So as you progress through the different levels, you unlock different colors, and those different creatures have other abilities. And we've tried to make them very intuitive and elemental. So yellow creatures have electricity, and I'm not going to give away too many of the other ones, but you'll unlock them as you go through the game.
Now, we just got a prompt about escaping bullies on this level.
So they're about to come and start hounding and making life difficult for Ash. So these are the bad guys in the game, and you saw them in the
that's right, his name's Ash.
And so as the game has kind of opened up into this mini open neighborhood.
So you still have to deal with the bullies and all the other stuff. So that's cool. Gives you a bit of a challenge.
Agile platforming moveset, and he can clamber up to the rooftops and get up there and get away from them.
But you can't fight the bullies. You gotta escape.
Avoid them and lure them around the level. So that's the thing that's putting pressure on you, as you're trying to cover this space with your artwork.
Let's see.
And what was that he just
found a brush. So before this chunk of gameplay, the bullies have
You're like,
stolen...
what's that on the wall right there?
Ripped all the pages out and scattered them into the wind.
I remember that from the reveal trailer.
That's right. And so they're kind of floating around as well, gives you something to chase. But you get this cool gameplay reward every time you catch one, which is a new painting technique.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And do those affect the gameplay in tangible ways as well?
Oh, wow. What's that?
Stylish.
They do, because the creatures really want you to
Oh,
paint
okay, so
specific
there's the
things
bullies
at certain points.
again.
So there's a handful of brushes that you have to find in each level.
Okay.
And then at the masterpiece painting at the end, you'll get to use all of them to bring to life the final kind of destination. So he wants a cherry tree brush, which Arjun has thankfully just found.
So you literally have to
Right there for him.
Yeah.
run away from the bullies
You have over 3 levels of animation.
because they won't give you the time to paint, you see?
And
That's what I was
we really
thinking
want to give
about.
the person the feeling that it's
So this is going to be challenging. You got to keep doing this.
And when the bullies come around your artwork, it actually changes. It freezes.
Okay.
It loses all its color.
Okay, so that's
It's a
without...
manifestation of how Ash feels when he's being bullied.
I see.
So
And
do
they
you have to
can't-
Oh,
repaint
wow.
those places when the bullies come through?
No, so when they leave the area, it comes back
Goes
to
back to
life.
life.
Gotcha.
It's
But
meant
when
to
the
reflect
bullies
its mood, but it's also the fact
appear,
that they can't see it as alive.
the
because they're
artwork kinda
unable to
turns
see it.
dull or
So when
something.
they're around, it completely kind of dies and desaturates.
Okay.
And the creatures get frozen as well.
I see. I predict.
Now, does he have, like, a health?
Implications
Right.
in terms of the puzzles and all that.
Absolutely.
Like, will they punch him and it kills him or hurts him when you start from a different checkpoint?
So that painting mechanic is really, really robust, but also seems very accessible. How many iterations did you go through before you landed on the version of that felt just right?
We've had several attempts at getting to the place we're at now, and it wasn't until we let you really freely paint with a cursor that we felt that we'd answered that kind of player expectation and that fantasy of making you feel like an artist.
So that's pretty awesome.
So that was our third kind of stab at it, and then we've had about a year and a half since then to have it manifest into the game that you see right now.
I'll imagine by
The
now
music is really important, but
they
it sounds to me, and I know it's
have
a
it so
little
you
loud
can
to
use
the
VR.
center, but it sounds to me as if each brushstroke has a different tone associated with it.
That's right. So this is something that we've been working on this year as well, just to help encourage every player to keep painting. Each brush has its own melodic instrument attached to it. And so kind of like Entwined as well, we care deeply about our dynamic soundtrack. And Sam Marshall, our audio director and composer, has designed this amazing system where each brush has its own sound and it plays in the same key as the soundtrack. And it's perfectly in time with the music as well. So when you're painting, you feel like you're contributing to the soundtrack as well.
Seems like quite the engineering feat as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, music is so important.
It really is.
Creating a really emotional gaming experience, I think.
We've designed levels within the world where you can just kind of sit and paint and spend time composing whatever you'd like. And it's really nice because you can have the action part, but you can also take time to make really beautiful little compositions for yourself.
Right.
Yeah. And yeah, on the note of the music, I remember there was a song that we released from the PG
trailer.
trailer?
Yeah, that's right, from Paris. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was such a beautiful song. I'm really looking forward to
Wow,
hearing
so
more
he
of
brought
these.
that whole
Absolutely.
building
We're so lucky to have Sam
to
on
life.
board, and
Like, it looks
he's been
great.
with us
It
since
looks...
the very beginning of the project, which
Oh.
we think makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Having somebody representing
Oh, you
and
see
speaking
that?
about the audio from the very initial design is what enables us to have it so thoroughly integrated into the gameplay. And Sam contributes to the design of the game as well, which is great.
So the monster, at some point, he was standing
You
there.
can see the creature.
You can see
reacting
the
to everything that
expression
Arthur's
on his
painting as
face.
well. So they're kind of like an in-game audience for you.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll try and kind of, they'll pick up the dandelions and blow them, or eat the apples, hide behind the trees, or sit down by the campfire and things like that.
Do the creatures interact with each other as well as interact
They will.
with Ash?
Yeah.
Do.
Oh,
And
that's
as the
cool.
game progresses and the puzzles get more complicated, you might need creatures with different sets of abilities to combine and solve things. as
Yeah,
well.
that's why I was wondering, like, a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I can see we've added a fair bit of color to this dreary landscape.
Yeah.
Cool. I think we're coming up on time here, but is there anything else any other cool
Oh,
stuff
man,
you
it looks
want to
good,
before we
man.
let you go?
I think that's all the basics that we wanted to cover. Yeah.
Okay, great, cool. Any final message for the fans watching at home or for our fans out in the audience here?
Well, we just can't wait for people to get their hands on it.
Yeah, it's gonna be very good. It's gonna be very, very good, man.
It's great.
Great, cool. Are you talking about a release window or anything like that yet?
Not just yet. Not just yet, but
So it's gonna be very good. Hell, I can't even wait to try this game. Yeah, I just, I'm not gonna zoom back too much stuff. I'm not gonna look at a whole lot of things, but just looking at how you're able to paint and bring something to life. What I like about it is, let me see if I can find that one part. I was talking about it probably around this. So you're not going to be able to sit still and think about, okay, so you're not going to be able to freely paint, because the bullies, they continually chase you, and they're going to keep chasing you until they either, I'm guessing, might be some other stuff they do. They might try to steal your paint, steal your paint brushes, then you have to go find your paintbrush again, or maybe and what's cool is when they said if the bullies come around, the painting turns a little bit dull, because that's how he feels. I think that's pretty awesome. And then let me see, I'm trying to find the one where he had the painting knock down the door, and I think that was pretty innovative, because let me see if I can find that area. And if I can, I won't worry about it. I've already talked about it. I just think it's pretty cool. Okay, yeah, right here. So after he finished playing a little basketball, the creature feels happy that you've been giving him attention. But then he comes over here, and the creature uses his fire ability to burn the wood down. So I like how the creature can interact with the real world to actually help you get through things. What I did kind of notice, I guess he didn't go into depth, but see, he was painting a lot here. He was doing a lot of painting, just graffiti. He was talking, and then he turned to the creature. Look at the expression on the. Let's go back here. He turned to the creature. Oh, I don't need the full screen. Notice the expression on the creature, because he didn't pay the creature any attention. Or if you look at the wall, there's no paintings on this wall. So I wonder if something changes if you stop paying attention to the creature. And that's why I was talking about the AI aspects, not just you running from the bullies, just like a game of Pac-Man. What happens when you lose that interaction with your creature? So that's pretty cool. And then once he's seen the creature, he comes over, gives him attention, makes him happy, and that's probably gonna cause his paintbrush to change or something different. See, he starts painting on the wall now to try and make him happy. Also, all the blue So the blue was overwritten. I was wondering about that. And then so a lot of the blue is like the dull graffiti that just, yeah, right there. So he painted over that, over all this right here, and that goes away. And maybe once he finishes painting over the blue to create something that's a little more alive, then the creature, that's probably when his maybe, you know, he can proceed to do something else, or just get the creature to do something for him that makes him proceed. But this is probably the extreme intro to say, okay, this is what you do right now. Probably down the road you have these puzzles you have to paint over, but before you can do that, you have to either trigger something, go find, complete a puzzle, push this, paint that. So this will be pretty good. I like this. So yeah, I'm curious to, you know, read your comments at the bottom. Feel free. I like this game. This is my, you know, my first impression. The graphics are just amazing. I mean, I think the gameplay, the animation is very fluid. Like I said, it reminds me of Coraline. I'm not doing a review. I'm not reviewing the game at all. I'm just my impressions, my visual impression. Like I said, it looks like some animated Coraline stuff, or maybe some Pixar-ish games, you know. It's very creative, just like Tearaway, you know, the use of the PS4 controller. I don't see this getting a Microsoft port because of the controller's functions. Again, beautiful animation, crisp, and I'm sure that VR will be integrated with this game, and it's really gonna be impressive to play from a first-person perspective and be able to wand and paint. So thanks for watching. Can't wait to see this game, and have a nice day.